Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching. If you're new to me, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is free to do so, doesn't cost you anything. And hit the like button, it would really help the channel grow. I have something like 410 subscribers, I think, at the moment, something like that. Right, so I want to talk to you about the jailing of the Manchester airport attacker, and I can't remember exactly, Mohammed something, right? I can't remember what his surname was, right? The one that properly punched that PC Lydia Ward, who is now apparently been promoted to a sergeant of all things, right? We'll get back to that, right? So I want to read you the victim impact statement, or part of it, that PC Lydia Ward gave out in court when this guy was being sentenced. So it goes like this. Look at me standing here. I'll tell you what you see. You see a female who is 5'2", and at the time of the incident I weighed no more than 8 stone. You are a male and you chose to attack without a second thought. You chose to attack a female. You knocked me to the ground with one punch. With so much force you broke my nose. What angers me is that afterwards, when only part of the footage was out in the public, you played the victim. Right. Let's look at that first bit again, guys, right? Because we need to talk about this, okay? I have sort of alluded to a wee bit of my thoughts about this before in part of another video that I did, but she says, look at me standing here, I'll tell you what you see. You see a female, right, okay, big deal, right? A female who is 5'2", right? Now, there's the first red flag, right? And at the time of the incident, I weighed no more than 8 stone. That is a major red flag for me, right? I am not much taller than that woman, okay? I'm probably about 5'4" and I weigh 9 stone, right? Now, there is no way I would consider joining the police even if I wanted to, right? I am not tall enough. I do not command a physical presence. I weigh 9 stone, right? I weigh 9 stone, right? So a stone more than that woman, right? There's been times, right? Don't laugh, right? I suppose it's a wee bit funny, right? But there's been times in quite a strong wind, right? And like quite really strong winds where I've been almost knocked off balance because I'm so skinny and light, and there's just nothing to me. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit embarrassing to admit that, but do you know what? I will admit it because I know my limitations, okay? I know I'm not an athletic guy. I know I can't lift and press weights and all that, carry on. Bench presses and all that, and all this exercise and lifting really heavy weights. I can't do it. I don't have the physical ability. I am only a wee bit taller than that woman and a stone heavier, right? And I know that it would be absurd for me to try and join the police. What chance would I have against, like, even your average guy? Do you know what I mean? That, like, the 70-kilogram man. I don't weigh anything near that. This woman weighed less than me, right? And she was a wee bit shorter than me, right? And I'm already quite short. So she had no physical presence whatsoever. She had no, like, she just didn't have the physical strength, right? So this isn't Balamori, guys, do you know what I mean? Where all the police are singing songs and all that, and the criminals just go with them and they're happy to be arrested, all that. That doesn't happen, right? And see, for these people saying that the police don't go to work to be assaulted and all that, nobody goes to work to be assaulted, but at the end of the day, right, they're choosing to do this job, right? They're choosing to go into harm's way and they get paid a fucking good wage to do so, do you know what I mean? So I think we need to be realistic here. I think there should be a minimum requirement for height. I think you should be about 6 footish, and I think the minimum, I think you should be about 12 stone at least. 6 foot, 12 stone. Do you know what I mean? And like, I think they should prioritise people that are like a bit more like athletic and can prove that they can lift a certain amount of weight and things like that. Because how was that woman ever going to stand up to even like an average guy? Do you know what I mean? She was tiny. She was the height of shite and she weighed nothing. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I couldn't do it, and I'll admit that. Do you know what I mean? I'm around about the same weight and height as that woman, just a wee bit more. And do you know what I mean? I would never think of doing it. I couldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? I'd have no chance at trying to restrain somebody. Do you know what I mean? There's a total crisis of competence in places these days, all because of quotas for more women and DEI, diversity, equity and inclusion and all that, right? And it's got to stop. We've got to get people that are suited for the role. This woman should never have been frontline policing, and I believe she's been promoted to a sergeant now. Talk about fucking falling upstairs. Do you know what I mean? I don't like. This not on, man. We need to be getting people that are competent for these roles. Do you know what I mean? This DEI shite has got to stop. It's got to stop. If we need people that are big burly guys, right, that can lift weights and all that, and can grab a guy and properly restrain him that's going for somebody, and sort like, they should have probably a bit of martial arts or possibly a bit of full contact boxing training, because that was embarrassing. That, like, fair enough, what the guy did was a disgrace, right? I'm not defending the guy, right? But if you're in the police, you've got to accept that things like that might well happen, do you know what I mean? So I don't really have any sympathy in that regard. Do you know what I mean? Because you should be prepared as a police officer to do that. And see, as far as like people saying, oh, the police, they do a dangerous job and all that, and fucking falling all over themselves to praise them and all that, do we praise bin men for dealing with rubbish and all that, taking out? Bin men are a vital part of society. Without them, there'd be rats all over your bins when they get taken out. Do you know what I mean? What about firefighters? Do we champion them and praise them every time they put out a blaze? No, it's just expected of them. And they get paid a damn good wage, and they get the proper training, and there'll be requirements to be a firefighter. I'm pretty sure, damn sure of that. Do you know what I mean? So, all this nonsense, man, do you know what I mean? I just thought that victim impact statement, right, that just screams incompetency, a competency crisis. And we need to sort our shit out, people, do you know what I mean, with these organisations like the police, the army, and like firefighters and all that. We need to be selecting people that are physically capable of doing these jobs. And a wee 8 stone, 5'2" woman in frontline policing, that's not it, guys. That's wrong. That's not on. Do you know what I mean? It's just stupid. It's absurd. Anyway, if you've made it to the end of this, thank you very much for your patience. And like I say, hit subscribe and hit like. Thank you very much. And let me know your thoughts, yeah? Thank you for watching.